Good morning. I know I'm super late to the party because people posted this kind of video really early on in lockdown, and at that point I felt like, does anybody want to hear another version of this? But having now worked from home for about 10 weeks, possibly longer than that, how long has this been going on, I don't know, and having basically been told that we will work from home for a long time now, I feel like I've got my routine down. I feel like I've got my setup in the living room down. I've MacGyvered a desk out of an IKEA unit that actually works really well in my living room. It's been all over the house and now I finally put it back in the living room, and I'm feeling pretty good about it. And so I thought I would share my work from home routine because I don't think this is going to be any different for a really long time for me. If you watched my lockdown vlogs, of which there are 40, if you want to go back and watch them, if you're feeling in the mood, over on my other channel, which will be linked below, you will be familiar with this setup. This is where I start my day. This is the kitchen, obvs, and I make myself a coffee. Because I am super lazy, I've also got some skincare bits down here. Both of these were sent to me, FYI. I've got this little, I'm showing you these before, but these are my favourite ones. It looks like a little toweling. If I can find a link and remember, if I don't link this, which I probably won't, remind me and I will. They're just reusable cotton pads, and I've had a couple of different versions and I really like these ones. Really absorbent, but very flexible. The other ones were very thick and like cottony, they weren't as nice. I've been using the Pixie Milky Tonic, which is like a soothing toner. I've had a good amount of, come on, focus. I've had a good amount of problems with pigmentation since lockdown. I have a lot of like basically unevenness. Depends on whether or not you have a lot of it as to whether or not it's even something that you consider. It's more on this side than this side, but it can come from the sun, it can come from hormonal changes. I know that mine was originally melasma, which is hormonal related, and it came from pregnancy, and so I've just got like kind of dark patches. And recently, even wearing foundation, it doesn't really cover it, which is kind of crazy. It obviously is something, well, I would say it's something to do with the sun, but I just don't know, because it can be hormonal. It can be nothing to do with the sun at all. So I don't know, but I have kind of had in the back of my mind, maybe it's because I'm using all of these glycolic acids and toners and treatments and stuff, which all make you more sensitive to the sun. So I've kind of just taken a break from those and I'm going a little bit more sensitive route. And then the Pixie Rose Flash Balm, which I love so much. If you ever use the Beauty Flash Balm from Clarins, a very similar thing. I actually prefer this. I don't know if it's because it's got a slightly pink tone, really slight, but it really is just, it perks me up. It feels cool and refreshing, and I put it on. I don't tend to use this underneath makeup, but I use this on my kind of no makeup days, which is most of the days, and I feel like it does something nice for my skin. Now, whether or not you can see it or if it's all in my head, it doesn't really matter because I'm not really going anywhere, but it just makes me feel kind of refreshed, and it replaces that feeling of getting ready for the day that I had when I would put makeup on to actually leave the house. Under normal circumstances, there would be a small boy back there playing wrestling. That's his breakfast plate. Playing wrestling, watching YouTube videos. The reason I'm able to film this in peace and quiet right now is that he decided he was going to go upstairs, and I was like, seize the opportunity. So then what I usually do is put on some noise cancelling headphones, and I watch something that I've already seen 1,000 times. Can you guess what this is from this frame? I feel like only really hard, I mean, you could probably make an educated guess anyway, but I would be interested if anybody knows who this person is. I find that headphones and listening to something that I've already watched a million times is kind of like white noise, and it blocks everything else out and allows me to focus. I get that that's not for everyone. But it's the same with at work. I'll put in headphones and it just kind of, I can't listen to the chatter. It's very, very distracting, and I'm easily distracted. And for some reason, this does the opposite for me. And so I'll sit with my headphones in kind of till mid-morning usually, and then we'll have a little break. But yeah, that's me for right now. So I tend to start work at around 7, just to get it out of the way, because I don't have like core working hours. Well, I suppose I do to a degree. But it's all kind of flex. So the earlier that I start work, even outside of the lockdown, the earlier I can finish. So 7 o'clock makes sense since I just literally roll out of bed and come downstairs. And like I said, Milo usually comes down shortly after that, around the same time, plays his game, watches some TV, has some breakfast. And then at 10 o'clock, which it is now, I know it's not supposed to be till 11:30. Will anybody even get that reference? I don't know. Around 10 o'clock, I'll go and get a Diet Coke. And I have taken to using this time to print him off some things that he needs to do for school. Milo just came downstairs because he could hear me talking. I told him I've got spellings that I'm printing him out. Disappeared pretty sharpish then. Speaking of things feeling temporary and then ending up being a lot more permanent, as with my working from home situation, I actually spoke to Milo's teacher the other day and it sounds like it's going to be a while till they go back to school. Our area, the mayor suggested that schools didn't reopen, all but for key worker children, because it was like the consensus of the area that they didn't want that. And so I'm not even sure whether or not we're going to have the first classes in or what's going to happen, or if it's all going to be in September. No idea, but she gave me a little bit more guidance, and they're starting to put more and more working from home stuff on the school website. So I'm trying to work that into my routine on my working days. Also, it just came to me, I should probably tell you what I do for a job, because that's going to be a question that I get, and I may as well put it within the video so you don't have to ask. Although, you know, if you still want to ask, that's fine. I work for a railway company, and my specific job, well, I'm learning, it's baffling me, but I am remotely learning a different part of the job, which is basically planning the route of the train, and then you split that train. It's so difficult to, I'm sure there's a much simpler way than I'm going about it. Basically, a train goes from A to B. You have to kind of plan in what route through the country that goes, and then you have to chop that route up into jobs for different drivers, because the driver can't drive necessarily all the way from A to B. It might be local knowledge of the area, or it might be that it's too long a drive, and that is what I do. It's nothing fun or interesting necessarily. I mean, it is interesting, but it's not necessarily, it's not relevant to what I do online, and I think that's what people are always expecting, like, what is your job? It's not what you would think. It is an interesting job, but it's just not interesting in the terms of this scope of like YouTube and beauty and all of that stuff. But that's what I do. Right, I've just got off my weekly team meeting, which is so weird. I'm not into this like video chat, Microsoft Teams team meeting thing. It's really strange. Also, during the time that we've been working from home, I've got a new manager. I'm potentially changing my working days, which is currently being discussed, and I'm obviously learning a completely new job. So it's all felt like already we've got no control over the current situation, and then further rugs have been pulled from underneath me, and everything's been done via online meetings, which is super weird. Like, conversations that you would have in person just feel different, especially if you are not agreeing about something. They feel different when you're having them over a video chat. So that part I am definitely missing in terms of being in the office versus working from home. However, wearing comfy clothes and no makeup is a real benefit. Put some food in the oven for the kids. I'm gonna work a little bit longer and then I'm gonna take a break. The kids have got chicken nuggets and chips because and I have now got this down to 5 minutes with fresh pasta. It is, I mean, I've not had bacon with it before. I usually have chicken, but that takes longer. Alfredo pasta, it is absolutely amazing. I put garlic in already hot butter in, I've got like a jug pan thing. Anyway, garlic and butter, not even for very long. And then I put in some cream, and then I melt in some Parmesan and put a little bit of parsley in. I like more Parmesan, like thicker, so like more Parmesan to cream ratio. Amazing, and black pepper on top. Doesn't even matter what you have with it. The other day I had it on the side of steak, just with like nothing, it was just the pasta with steak. I love it. Alfredo sauce is like my favorite thing ever, and it's not really a thing in the UK. It's something that whenever we've been to restaurants in the US, I will always seek out because I love it, and it's like a really normal thing, and I don't know whether or not we call it something else, but during lockdown it was the thing that I was missing the most when realizing we weren't going on holiday for anytime soon. I thought I'm gonna try and learn how to make that thing that I really like, and it is so easy. I've finished work, obviously, and I am sitting down to film a video. It's not often I get the quiet and the peace and quiet, if you will, to sit down and make a video like this while everyone's in the house. So if I can tack it on to the end of a work day when the kids are both kind of busy doing other things, maybe think I'm still working. Mum's gone out maybe to take the dog for a walk. No one's using the washing machine. We have a full house. So I will take these times as and when I can get them. So I'm gonna film this video and then I'm gonna show you my work setup. I'm gonna show you the desk and stuff that I've made, and show you why I feel like this is probably the way I'm going to be sitting, the way I'm going to be working for the foreseeable future. Okay, so ignoring this, because this was both filming, chatting with Emma about some stuff, all kinds of things. So this is the window, as usually, the curtains are open, and this is the corner in which I am now working. Now I have got a proper desk chair, which I brought home from work. I'm trying to make it work with this chair because the desk chair is not cute in the living room. However, I do have a bad back and I probably should just use the desk chair. But this helps, because I just want something that supports a little bit higher up. And this is not an uncomfortable chair, it just is the back situation, really. So, I use 2 monitors. I don't use this one all of the time, but this is basically the computer that fuels this monitor. So I'll have that in case I need it, and then obviously as and when I need to have a video call, it's there because it's got the camera on there as well. But in this corner, right by the window, in the morning, I can pull this back because it's not a proper window. It's not a proper window. It is a proper window. It's not a proper curtain rod. It is a tension rod. So I can basically just pull it back however I want to. The printer is down there, and so this becomes a much lighter area first thing in the morning when usually it's really dark in this room. I was sitting here last week. I was upstairs for most of lockdown, and I decided I wanted to come into the living room because I was on the landing and it was just like not great. So then I was sitting here and it's just super dark. It's like 3:30 now and it is really dark. If I turn off this light, it's just like a shadowy corner of this whole area. It's not a bright living room. It doesn't get bright really until you get immediately in front of the window. And I think I was getting that kind of weird seasonal affective thing. It was just really bringing me down and I felt so tired all the time. So I've moved everything and I'm feeling more positive. And I wanted to show you the unit that I'm actually using as my desk. Hi, Manny. So this unit there is the same unit as this one, which is the Kallax from IKEA. I mean, you can see on that one there, that's a 4. That's one of these ones. I've done it with this one as well. So I've built them in different ways. So this one I've built the bottom part, but this one I left open so that I could put various things in it here. That one over there, I built just the frame so that I could use it as a desk if I wanted to. I don't use it like that right now, but that is how I originally built it. And then this one was originally built as a full, like 8 box one. And then I knocked out the middle part when I decided I was working from home and I needed a larger desk. And it's pretty much perfect. And once this is all kind of pushed in and away, not that that's the neatest thing in the world right now, but it is still all one unit along here, which I really like. I love that this stretches pretty much from one side of the room to the other and it's all one thing. I have had these units and the old Expedit units for years and years. Cannot recommend them enough. They are super sturdy, and especially in the white, super inexpensive. And you can build them to fit however you want. I've got a massive one in Milo's bedroom that's like, I don't know, is it 12 or 16? I don't know. Anyway, it's a big, it must be 16. It's a big square one. And across the top, it's just empty. So that's like, was all books and now it's dinosaurs. But they're super useful. And when I showed this recently, I got some questions. So I thought I would explain what it actually is. I've just got the fan hidden in there. But it is, I just knocked it out. I actually built this as, you can see, it's kind of, I wasn't careful. I actually built this as a full 8 and I just knocked out the middle part with a hammer and it was absolutely fine. And these are skincare, but these are drawers from IKEA. I got glossy ones by accident, but I don't hate it. And these are pulls from IKEA as well. And these are, again, it's all the same units, but it's just got different things built into them. So I could put more drawers over there if I wanted to. whatever. I just feel like if this is semi-permanent, if this is for a long time, which it really could be, then I can live with this in my living room. It doesn't feel like it's massively out of place. When I'm sitting down, it's basically just kind of like I can close the laptop, it's just a white screen in the corner, and otherwise everything looks kind of okay. And I feel like I'm nicer position in the living room now because I'm closer to the window, everything's kind of a bit brighter. It could be better in terms of the depth of the desk that I've got. It could be better if I actually use the proper chair. I'm thinking of maybe getting another sheepskin from IKEA when it opens, / when I can stand to go. It has opened now, hasn't it? I just don't know if I can, do it. But I'm thinking of doing that and putting it over the top of like the regular black chair, because then it kind of makes it look a little bit nicer than a regular office chair. I don't know. Anyway, I am gonna edit that video that I just filmed now. And that is kind of me for the day. Hopefully I'll get that done by the time Lee comes home. I can kind of close all this up, tidy it all away, and start again first thing tomorrow. Hopefully this has been interesting for those of you who maybe are kind of working from home indefinitely now and haven't before. I've always worked from home for the past 10 years in YouTube terms, but it's a completely different kettle of fish when people talk about working from home for themselves in like a creator capacity. It is just not the same thing as working a regular job that you're used to working in an office at home, especially with the kids. It's been absolutely nuts, a real baptism of fire. But it's been really interesting, and it's been an opportunity I would never have had. I think I potentially in the future would choose to do maybe like 1 day a week working from home and the rest in the office. I'm not sure what's going to be available. But I think that's what I would like to do. I'd like to kind of mix it that way. But at the same time, I'd like to have the opportunity to go back to the office. Much as it's safe and I so appreciate that I can work from home, I'm really missing everyone I work with, and I know I'm not alone in that. So yeah, just a bit of a random one. Hopefully it was entertaining, useful, or interesting in some way. If you enjoyed it and you haven't already subscribed, please don't forget to. And this weekend, we will be going to Meadowhall. Not this weekend, but Monday when it opens. I will be there on opening day, and there will be a video on Monday night of what it is like. So stay tuned, and I will see you then.